He's a team player. He's not one of those egoistic players.
During the games, you were good, motivating us.
Imagine life without Sauce in the community.
It always felt like we were a chip and Dale.
You know how to play with your brain, so it's about the majority.
I think you were underrated sometimes.
A great, incredibly skilled player. He wasn't at the top of the team, but he was there. You could tell he was there.
I still remember that day that I first saw a new game mode, football, on the Hypixel MOTD. Me as a giant football fan was immediately intrigued by the idea of playing football in my favorite game, Minecraft. Back then, 14-year-old me didn't have anything else than a laptop in my parents' kitchen, which couldn't run anything except Minecraft and Roblox. But yeah, fuck Roblox. So my youth was naturally filled with Minecraft, loads and loads of Minecraft. And that moment that I found out that my two greatest hobbies were getting combined, I couldn't have been more hyped. I had no idea what journey I was about to make and how it would change my life for the coming 3 years. The game football came out on Hypixel in August 2016. I had just turned 14 2 months prior. Me, as hyped as I was, tried out the game the day it came out. I immediately fell in love. I started playing more and more and becoming better and better. At this time I was still the quiet type. I didn't really get involved in the growing community, as I had no idea it existed. I'm sure you've all heard of the legend Sir Nibbles. Well, I never got to meet him, which still bugs me to this day. People didn't seem to notice me too much, even though I was working my ass off to become the best. I was kind of obsessed. I'd get out of school and immediately started playing football until my mom told me to get off. Finally, after half a year of playing alone, I got involved in the community. And let me tell you, a beautiful thing started to develop. 10 parties. 10 good players would group up to play matches against each other. It was the best time I experienced during my time of playing football. Because the pro community was so small, we were one huge friend group. Everyone knew each other and we were all having fun together. No one of us were especially good back then. But this was the era where the simplest team plays would still work. Think of players like Toby 1-4, Wombo Jr., Shark24, Trazeron, etc. In my opinion, this was the true golden age, before all the world dribbles started to develop. Sadly enough, there's barely any footage of this time, and that is such a big loss of nostalgia. Football gave me a safe spot to come and play, and it made me so happy. The rest of the year was just fantastic, as people started seeing me as one of the best players on the server. I had the best time of my life. This happiness wasn't always so perfect. During my time I encountered a few big arguments which would fire back on me. Somewhere in 2017, a new player came around that quickly improved, Combov. He started to host a lot of 10 parties, and he would take up a lot of online pros with them. I don't even remember what exactly happened, but me and him eventually came into a fight. He would kick me out of all of his 10 parties the second I got invited by another person. This all made me kind of upset, and I quit for a few months. After I came back, I thought it was time to have civil talk with Combov, which seemed to work because we kind of became friends afterwards. Nowhere near close friends, but we seemed to be cool with each other again. I got back even stronger than before, and I was ready to take over the world again. During this time, the new legend Kosher was setting up the football guild. He started inviting almost every pro that was in the game. This made for amazing connections between pros. We started becoming better and better together, with the rising of Yoshi60, who would later become Ludo, and Cow Cold, who would later become Cow. A spark of creativity started to take shape. Ludo, Cow, and myself were the center of new mechanics. We started to discover things that people never thought of before. We opened doors for each other, and together with Yazer7779 and Zikuda's crazy dribbles, a new era was about to start. More and more people started using the walls to their advantage, hitting the ball consistently to themselves and finishing it with a shot on goal. This changed the way I saw the game, and it also changed the ideals I had for it. The game was becoming more complex and hard to play. People that didn't adapt were becoming worse and worse, and the people that started to catch the dribbles were becoming better and better. I myself was one of the players that did not adapt at first. I'd always been a team player, and I love to get someone in the scoring position. To this day, I still prefer the assist over the goal. I still had the urge to create things for other people to use. I started to develop my own unique playstyle, and I would say I had my own signature moves and ways. People may disagree on that, but I have always believed that I was a top player, and if not, I had the potential to reach that level once again. I've always tried to be myself and play like nobody else, and I think I accomplished that. Eventually, Kosher would start hosting tournaments for people to participate in. When I signed up for my first ever tournament, I was full of hope. I wanted to prove that I was worth a lot, and I hoped that people would finally recognize me as a top player. And let me tell you, it was a straight disaster. I was teamed up with Lionel Messi, who is now a Supreme Steam, and Tone the Duck, who retired 1.5 years ago. We got smashed like bugs by Kosher's team. Back then, 15-year-old me was naive, and I thought I was a top player. Nothing is less true. Turns out I was actually miles behind others. This gave me more energy than ever before, and I started to improve very fast. I became better at predicting and reading players. That has always been my power, the mind games. I had no idea what 2018 would bring me yet, but it was destined to be an amazing year for my football career. 2018, the year where everything took off. I had participated in 2 more tournaments that Kosher would organize. I made it to the semifinals of one, with a very special person on my team. You guessed it, it was Kambov. My other teammates would be Desdevil, Narwhal, and Elmule. I got put in seed 5 by Kosher during the drawing, and that kinda hurt my ego a bit. I don't know if it was accurate or if he didn't know me well enough, but this would be a sign by God for later events. 2018 was also the year that I started making my montages. I was not the first to make football videos for YouTube, but I was the first one to make a fully edited montage. After that, I uploaded my first few montages. People started to pick up on it. Eventually, Ludo started creating his own montages. Together, we owned the football YouTube scene. More players would later follow in our footsteps to make their own montages, but Ludo's and my montages would always stand out from the rest. At the time, we got a few hundred views, which was a lot for such a small community. My first montage is currently on 1300 views, which still blows my mind. The beautiful thing about my montages is that you can clearly see my improvements over a small period of time. I had uploaded 8 montages within 8 months, and people were loving it. You saw clear improvement of me as a player while watching my montages. I started off rather bad, and now in montage number 11 you can see me doing all sorts of crazy dribbles and passes. A lot changed because of my YouTube channel. Random people I didn't know started to recognize me in game, asking me when my next montage will be. I even had a few people ask for a screenshot, which was weird to me since I only had 60 subscribers at the time, but it still happened. It gave me the feeling that I was finally getting recognized and I was finally making steps in becoming one of the best. The fact that I became a little more known also opened another door. After Kosher's World Cup tournament, I would form a team with Supreme Steam and Desdevil to make our own tournaments. I was a host now. In our first tournament, 70 players signed up. It blew my mind that we could get so many people interested. But it was a big weight on my shoulders having all that responsibility. Outside that, I was still participating myself. This is the tournament where I would finally meet one of my best friends to this day, Jude Sharp. Me and him were teammates in the tournament, but we barely knew each other yet. This resulted in us losing the tournament rather early. I was a little upset because I knew I missed another opportunity to prove myself. Kosher's team went on to win the tournament once again. After this rather successful tournament, me and Jude formed a very well-known duo. We started playing with each other almost non-stop. We knew each other from the inside out. We could blindly pass to each other and the ball would arrive. It was the best feeling I had gotten in almost 2 years. Eventually, me and Jude came up with something that would make a big impact on competitive play. That's right, I'm talking about the pre-jump. Many say we didn't come up with it, and that it already existed, but no one perfected it as well as we did. We were doing it consistently, and no one knew how to counter it. Once again, I was part of the creation of a new way of playing. Ludo and Kao had become a couple around the same time me and Jude did. They started using pre-jumps in their gameplay. The Italian squad started doing it, and even the Wrecked gang started doing it. We made a montage which was 50% dedicated to pre-jumps, and it's my most viewed video to this day. It is currently on 1700 views. Me and Steam would go on to host yet another tournament. This tournament would be a 3v3 format. Jude and Steam would become my teammates once again, and because Kao was still teamless, we were able to pick him up as a sub. Steam, Jude and me were growing to be a very strong team to face. Our rotations were perfect, the defense was high quality, and we were passing like no other team could. After beating various teams, we reached the finals, and we're up against the old football club FC, starring your mother Gabinete and Odemendiarg. Needless to say, this was quite the challenge for us. Would this game finally be my moment of glory? I was thinking, the nerves got pretty high. The first game we played fantastically. We won 6-1. We crushed their famous defense with our new pre-jump strategy. They simply weren't ready for it. They eventually adapted though, which meant we were two giants battling it out. This led to a final Game 7, with us being tied 3-3. It was finally time to sub in Kao to make ourselves unpredictable once again, to make them confused. After standing 0-0 for a while, Kao scored a relieving 1-0, which would end up being the only goal in the game. I had finally won a tournament. Although, it didn't feel that great. Reason being, Kosher had not participated, which meant I still haven't beaten him, therefore we couldn't be counted the best, simply because he wasn't there. In December, me, Steam and Kao started to develop a new tournament archetype, which is the League. The League was a huge success. We got 80 applications within 3 days. The League consisted of 12 teams that would face each other once. I started my journey with Arentina, together with CRT, Odemendiarg, and Maya L11. We did decent, with 2 wins, 1 loss, and a tie. But of course, I was hyped to transfer to Telegodes after Match Week 5 to join my friends Jude, Sharp, and Supreme Steam once again. So I did. Arentina got sucked empty and Maya was left behind buying a few other players. They eventually lost every single match after, with most having more than 20 goals against. With Telegodes, however, we did very average. We won about 50% of our games, which led to our eventual 6th place finish. Again, no success. In April, the World Championship started. This month was also important for another reason. I finally got an upgrade to PC. I didn't have to sit in my parents' kitchen anymore, and I was able to relax in my own room. My gameplay quickly improved because of the frame and internet boost. It is also the month that I made my 10th montage. Anyway, back to the World Championship. I had been selected for the Dutch national team to join my old friends, Kao and Jude, while also having company of a very respected player by the name of Mohamed Salah and Bavakacha guarding the goal. There were 2 groups of 5 teams, and the top 2 teams of each group would move on to play a mini-tournament. The Dutch squad managed to win 3 games in the group stage, facing France, including Ludo, England, including Steam, and San Marino. Though, we lost against Brazil. Because of this, we became second in the group, and we were up to play Mexico, who had become group leader in the other group. After a long fight, we ended up losing, yet another upset. We had become 3rd on the World Championship. We were once again very close, but luck was not on our side. After the tournament had ended in May, I made the hard decision to step down as host of football tournaments. Life was getting more and more busy for me, and I didn't have the motivation to continue. It was a hard choice to just give up all that influence on the game I loved most, but I saw it as the best option for both me and the community. After summer break, the now 17-year-old me finally started university. Something I had wanted for multiple years, it was finally happening, though it took a huge part of my time. And I simply didn't have the time to play football anymore. During the time I also met my girlfriend, taking up even more time. Eventually I just stopped playing football as much. I played other games and had fun with friends whenever I did have some time free. I had kind of fallen off football and hadn't played in several months. Flash forward to October 2019. Season 2 of the league has started, now having Ludo as host instead of me. During the transfer period, Jude and me chose to pick up 4 new squad members. I'm Sweaty, Aura, Elru, and Alush. We were confident that we could finally make a chance to win the league. Although we had the god almighty Steak Salad and Football Club FC to beat first, we ended up winning every game except, yeah, you guessed it, Football Club FC. They ended up winning the league. I was actually very happy this happened because Kosher finally lost the tournament. During my time, many started to believe I hated Kosher. Truth is, I never did. We just had some disagreements in the past and we were childish in trying to solve them. I had always thought that Kosher was a tiny bit overrated. Maybe I was just jealous, I don't know, but I was very relieved that Kosher was able to lose the tournament. Kosher, if you see this, I want to publicly apologize for anything I might have said or done in the past. You didn't win everything for no reason, and I see that now. And this all leads to where we are right now. I have yet to win something major, and I had not found true success regarding competitive play. On the other hand, I did have a lot of success in content creation. I managed to generate 10,000 views on my montages, and that still blows my mind. The reason I'm making this video is because I see this as sort of a goodbye to the community. My life has been all over the place in the last 6 months, and I think it's finally time to say goodbye to the game that changed my life. I'm done making montages and I'm done playing tournaments. I will still come take a look sometimes at the community, but you won't see me online as often as I used to. It's been a hell of a journey, and I want to thank everyone that crossed my path during my time playing football. Thank you for giving me the best time of my life, and for helping to shape my personality and purpose. You know what they say, legends never die, and neither will I. You all made me feel more alive than ever. All the best to you and the community, and I hope the game will do amazing in the future, and that I would be proud to say I was lucky enough to help build it. I don't know what I would be like without football. All the luck to you all in the future. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. Goodbye.
It was an honor to be lucky enough to be his closest friend during his time of playing football.
An extremely caring player.
You're trustworthy, and the people that are on you must be proud to have someone like you.
I admire and look up to him.
As a player, good. As a person,
He's done so much, been involved with so much.
About being midfielder, you had a good vision to look at the midfield and then seeing where the opponents were. Same for your teammates. You are useful as midfielder no matter what. Playing at you was some challenge because you were defending against me most of the time. I don't like you for this. And it wasn't a pleasure when I couldn't even make any of my tricks because, well, you were pre-jumping or trying to counter them all the time.
It always felt like we were a Chippendale. People learned of you. But I'm still really happy that he's still one of my best friends.
Right, come here. Is sauce nice? Is sauce a dick? Thank you.
God damn it. You fucking hell.
Yeah, you're a wonderful person. Wonderful family.
Are you talking about my sister?
I didn't want to say it.